¿Qué pasó, mi gente? It's Mark Tep 25 otra vez. Welcome to the El Chuco Sportscast. This is my brother Mario. He wasn't here last week because he was studying for finals, but he's back this week. How you doing, bro?
Fantastic, man. I'm just glad to be done with this semester.
Yeah, that's good, man. It's always good to have that sense of relief and not worry about that. I remember when I was in my graduate studies, it was great to be done with all that shit. But yeah,
Right. But I mean, under these kind of circumstances, it was interesting to say the least. But at least I made it through. So
yeah, it's been weird for everybody. It's been weird. But yeah, so today we're going to touch on something we've been talking the last few videos. It's again with the Dak Prescott situation in Dallas. Mario recently found an article from Heavy.com explaining that the Cowboys are actually starting to kind of go into Dak's direction as far as a contract. They're starting to work with him a little bit more. Whether Heavy.com is a credible source, I don't know. You all can be the judge of that. But yeah, what we saw in the article was that Dak Prescott was going to be offered a $35 million contract with a $106 million guaranteed per year, which is ridiculous. That would make him the highest paid Cowboy in history, and it would make him the highest paid yearly in NFL history. So it's pretty astronomical if that is the case. And if that is the case, I don't know what to think. Part of me feels like they probably could have still done. I mean, it would have been $1 million less yearly, but they probably could have come up on his $35 million like they are now and done $1 million less yearly, and I think it still would have been fine. I don't know. I just think it is a bit much. But, if they're going to pay the contract, pay the contract. Because last week, in the previous podcast, I talked about Des Bryant's situation, like his thoughts on the situation. And he felt that they should pay Dak. So I guess Des Bryant got his wish or is getting his wish. I don't know if this source is credible or not. So we're just going to play it by ear and see what happens. If that does end up happening, that's a pretty big contract for Dak. So, and yeah, he just has to prove it at this point. So, what do you think about that situation, Mario?
Well, I think this contract I feel is I think he should take it. I don't see it getting any better than this. 30, like I said, $35 million a year, and then 106 guaranteed. I think that's as good as a contract as you're going to get. I mean,
yeah, and also he's going to be there for 4 years. He's wanting to do a 4-year deal, which is pretty.
Oh, is it a 4-year deal?
Yeah,
okay.
It's pretty rich for a 4-year deal, but I guess that kind of lets the Cowboys off the hook a little bit because they gave Tony Romo a 6-year deal, and they were kind of stuck with that. Remember, he was guaranteed a 6-year deal, and then he just started to have all those issues, and it didn't pan out.
Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe Dak's playing on the side of caution as far as how long, depending on how well he does. I guess 4 years seems pretty fair. I thought 5 years would be fine, but if he thinks it's too long, okay. I think he should go. But I think this is the best deal he's going to get at the moment. I don't know. I don't see him trying to milk this out even further because I just don't think you're going to get more than that. Like I stated before, I think he's worth, at this point in time, being a 4-year veteran between 30 and 35. I think that's it for right now. Now, if he does tend to do better in the next 4 years, improve, and hopefully get to the point, like you said, either the NFC Championship, possibly the Super Bowl, which would be wonderful, then I would say, yeah, okay, I think he's proven his point to where he can get more. But I think for now, 35 million a year and 106 guaranteed is as good of a deal he's going to get at this point, because if he doesn't go with that, he's going to go with the he'll be under the franchise tag, which he's still guaranteed for 31 and some $1 million for this next year, which is not bad. But I feel it would probably put the organization in a tight spot to where, either he could walk as an unrestricted free agent next year. And I don't think that's a good idea to let him walk, because if you're going for the future, keep him. I would say either get with this deal, because I don't know, because Stephen Jones mentioned that he said that no, they're not gonna rescind the franchise tag on him. I was like, well, what? Maybe I'm not too. Maybe I don't know enough about the franchise tag as I thought I would. But it's like, well, if you'll give him this deal, wouldn't you have to rescind the franchise tag anyway? Because I mean, I mean, I know you're giving him 31 million under this franchise tag, but if he does end up taking this $35 million deal, I would think you would have to rescind it, or can you just transfer the franchise tag to his current deal? I don't know. Forgive me on that if I don't
Yeah,
know
I mean, as far
about
as
that.
franchise tagging, I only know that it kind of just puts a hold on him to kind of at least keep him on with them. I mean, he's still free to do as he wishes, but I mean, it still kind of at least holds on to him. But otherwise, I mean, I'm pretty certain you could look that up at some other point. But right now, I mean, within that article that we read, I mean, Stephen Jones, according to that source, is seeming to be a little bit more open to giving him more well, that specific contract, because again, that was Dak's terms. He was wanting that specific deal. So again, they're kind of leaning more towards Dak's wants now, which seems like a good sign. But again, we don't know if this source is credible enough to make that the actual claim. When we see it in writing, like officially on ESPN, then I'll say, well, it is what it is. But yeah, I just if that is what's going to happen, then good for Dak. Congratulations on getting that contract if that does happen. And hopefully he does stay for the long haul. But see, even if for some reason it didn't happen and he does walk, I mean, Andy Dalton is probably a good backup to have, as like to have in case he does walk. And Andy Dalton is not a scrub by any stretch of the imagination. Um, I don't know if you can really make the argument that he's better than Dak, because again, Dak hasn't played enough in the league to make that claim. And Andy Dalton, he has led the Bengals to a playoff spot, but he has struggled himself. So I don't know. We'd have to see. At this point, I hope they keep Dak, but if for some reason it does end up he walks, then Andy Dalton's not a bad choice to have either.
Yeah, well, I really believe that it would be a big mistake if Dallas let him walk. I mean, right out of the gate when he got into his rookie year, he really showed the league, hey, I can do this and I can get better than where I am. So he has a lot of potential and a lot of growth for improvement. So I really think it would be a very bad mistake to let
Well,
him walk.
a lot of other Cowboys fans don't see it that way, but it is what it is. I mean, I think he has potential. I agree with you, but a lot of Dallas fans don't see any upside to him at all, which is very unfortunate. But hopefully they get this deal done and we don't have to worry about that shit anymore.
It seems very
But
naive to me, but all right.
one, it's not naive. It's they try to use the records, which I mean, to their defense, it does make sense. He does have better stats, but the records don't reflect his better play. And maybe that's the fact that it's a team issue, but
It's definitely a team issue.
people like to see it as a Dak Prescott issue. And
No,
yes, there is a lot of
it's a
things
team
he does
issue.
need to improve on.
Yes, and that's a given, but it's a team issue, man. You can't just put it all on him. Yes, he's leading the team, but the other pieces of the team got to fall into place too. And if they don't, well, then Dak can only do so much.
Yeah.
And same thing goes with coaching and all that. But like I said, we got a new coach, new coaching staff, and we got some good pieces offensively. We did get some defensively. I think we could use a few more, but I think as far as all the pieces, now that we have a new era, so to speak, now that we're in a new decade, let's see how this works out. And I think I have a good feeling it's going to work out with McCarthy. And under his tutelage, I think Dak will prosper. So
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, so that's what we had for that particular segment. We're going to talk about I did a video some time ago, like before all this happened, like the mid-season predictions before the All-Star game, and I predicted like the standings for the NBA playoffs, how they would turn out. And in that video, um, I could have shown the clip, but then I felt it would have been a little weird just watching myself talk. So that's just strange. So what I had originally is I had the Bucks at first, Raptors second, Heat third, Celtics fourth, 76ers fifth, Pacers sixth, Magic seventh, and the Nets eighth. When I made my prediction for that midseason prediction, what it turned out being was the Bucks first, Raptors second, Celtics third, Heat fourth, Pacers fifth, 76ers sixth, Nets seventh, and the Magic eighth. I mean, the only reason I had the Nets at eighth is because they were kind of free falling at that point, but since then they've actually been on a decent win streak. So I guess hindsight's 2020, but who's to say they might have gone a little bit further down after that time. I mean, the season was
Well,
suspended.
they were on a three-game win streak.
Yeah, they
So
were.
yeah, it could have been on the up and up since
Yeah,
the
that's
league
the
got
only
messed
reason
up.
why I think, well, maybe I could have been wrong entirely even after that. But again, because the season is suspended, we'll really never know if my predictions would have actually come to pass. But for right now, if the playoffs started, which I'm pretty certain is going to happen if they do come back, then yeah, I was a little off on the East. But the West, though, I was actually 100% dead on at this particular moment, because as it stands, and it's the same thing, the Lakers were first, Clippers second, Nuggets third, Jazz fourth, Thunder fifth, Rockets sixth, the Mavs seventh, and the Grizzlies eighth. And it kind of sucks because I want to always have faith in the Mavericks, but they were kind of going down a little bit. I mean, yeah, they may have had a winning streak of some sorts, but overall throughout that span, they just weren't doing well. They were losing games they should not have lost, and it's a little frustrating. But who knows if they would have ended up getting back into a higher spot at the end of it. But I did have them at seventh, and they did
Right.
stay at seventh. The Thunder, I'm actually pretty happy that I got that one on the mark, because the Thunder were playing really well, and I figured the Rockets, even though they had that small ball lineup, everyone's like, "Oh, this is going to be different," and D'Antoni's going to usher in an interesting system that could possibly work. But nah, they were struggling themselves, I think. Like it I understand they're trying to get a little bit more of that small ball in the centers, starting to become a little obsolete in the sense of just rebounding and all that, because when people are shooting more threes, so the ball is going to bounce farther away. So what use is a center at that point? Which I understand, and Russell Westbrook does get you some decent rebounds, but I don't think it was working as well as they were wanting it to. And I think in the playoffs it won't pan out that well, personally. But that's for my prediction videos for the actual playoffs. I'll kind of discuss that in those. As a matter of fact, I'm still working on the Eastern Conference playoffs predictions right now as we speak. I pretty much finished putting the clips together. I just need to do the audio, and then I'll upload it along with this podcast when we're done. But yeah, I mean, I just think it's going to be an interesting playoffs. And the fact that a lot of fans and YouTubers even are putting a lot of that, oh, well, it's going to be an asterisk because, oh, the players are not going to have fans in the stadiums. It's going to be weird. It's like, okay, it's not like they haven't played a game of pickup. They don't have fans there. So what difference does it make? And they're still going to have media presence. So it's not going to be that big of a deal. I know it's going to be weird at first getting adjusted to it, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal if they do come back. I think the reason is mainly money. That's really all it amounts to. It has nothing to do with, oh, well, the fans really get them pumped up. It's part of it, but it's not the main reason. I think it's all have to do with the money. But yeah, what do you think about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you don't fill a seat, of course it's going to hurt you because every empty seat is money lost in a game, I guess, because yeah, fans bring in a lot of revenue, not just for buying tickets to the game, but of course, buying food and merchandise from all the vendors at the venue. So it'll hurt. But I don't, like I said, I don't think this is going to last very long. I really think that we're going to bounce back from this stronger than ever. And before you know it, the arenas all over the country will be start to fill up again. That's what I feel. It's going to happen.
Because I'm pretty
But
certain there are some practices that have already like started back up for some teams in certain like states,
mm,
and I'm pretty certain they're shooting for June, so I'm pretty certain by then it'll be a lot better, and they'll probably have more of a chance to like. I mean, and in my opinion, look, you could probably still have fans just as long as they A, wash their hands, B, wear a mask. Just like give fans a protective mask to use in the stadium, or just tell fans to bring their own and cover their mouths for the time being until these, you know, the government and other factions state that everything is okay and you don't have to necessarily wear a mask anymore. That's just how I
I
see it. But
mean,
again,
they
yeah.
well they could. I mean, I don't know how the NBA is going about because I haven't heard any announcements from them, but they could do like what the restaurants are doing. Allowing people to come in, but only at like 25% capacity, something along those lines, and then
Yeah, maybe
as
like have no floor seats. Everyone just kind of sits farther back.
I mean, you could have the floor seats. It's just you can just space everybody out, like every one or two other, like one person to every other one or two other seats in between. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a pain because we're human beings are naturally social creatures. We want to be together. We want to be around each other, and have a good time. So yeah, it's gonna suck, but at least, like I said, it's gonna slowly get back to. We'll slowly get back to a level of normal.
Normalcy, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to a level of normalcy very soon. But like I said, like they could do that. That's an option, but I'm not sure. You heard what I don't know if you were reading what Mark Cuban was saying about trying to open things back up. I mean, I guess he's still on the fence about it, but it's not. It's
Yeah,
not off the table.
there are two sides to that deal, man. Like there are people that are saying we could be shooting for June, reopening things for like the NBA, do like small mini training camps and then start in the playoffs. There are others that think they should just completely just cancel the season and just let everything get back to normal. I mean, whatever happens, but I think it is possible for teams to play even without fans. But even if they're like really pressed for the money, just have them wear masks. Like provide specialized masks that cover their faces but allow good breathing. I don't know. Like they have the money for that shit, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they do. You know, when we first talked about this, I was thinking maybe they should cancel the season, but now I look at it, it won't do us any good to succumb to fear like that, and because that will hurt. That will hurt. Not just the venue, the venues, the teams. It will hurt the people working at the venues, the vendors
Yeah,
economically. So
and
that's what I'm saying. It's best. I think I'm with you that possibly June that it's gonna ramp up. I think it'll be best now. Okay, we had a what do you call it? Like something that prevented us from doing this. A moment in time where it's like, okay, we had to stop, but I don't think we should allow that to stop us from finishing strong, like anything. So I think, yeah, I have a good feeling that they'll probably start up again and finish.
yeah, I mean, but the thing with the workers at the stadiums is a whole other issue in itself. I mean, should the players even be reaching out of their pockets to help these people? I don't think that's fair. I think it should be the owners and the league that should be reaching out to help them.
No, I
But
didn't say
there
it. I
no,
didn't.
but there are some. Well, I'm just saying there are some league owners and teams that are not doing that, and the players
Mm.
end up freaking shelling the money, which they shouldn't have to. I mean, it's a
Right.
nice gesture and that's great of them, but that's not something they should be doing. It should have been the teams, the organization's responsibility to help them. And Mark Cuban was one that actually did help his people. But there's a lot of other ones that didn't end up doing that, and I think that's very shitty.
Yeah, I mean that's why I give kudos. Mark Cuban has every now and then he drives us up the wall sometimes for certain things that he does or says, but he's not a bad guy. I really give him credit to allowing because he's the owner. He owns the facility. He kept people. He kept paying people, and I think that means a lot. And where a lot of other people, a lot of other places, they're just so greedy that they want to hold on to their money. They don't want to pay the workers, so they lay them off.
Yeah,
So it's like that's not cool.
it's sad, but it is what it is. Hopefully that changes, and hopefully things get back to normal. But yeah, those were my mid-season predictions. I was relatively close, but still kind of off. And I'll link my mid-season predictions in the description just to kind of show my reasoning as to why I did that. And then, like I said, I'm working on the actual playoff predictions. The Eastern one should be up by tomorrow once I complete this because I just need to record the audio. But yeah, so that's what I had for that. What we would like to go over now is our favorite, sports moments in history. Like mine, I did a big video on this that actually is probably one of my best videos to date, even though I was barely starting to work with editing software. It's, one finals moment. The NBA storyteller kind of did some sort of initiative to all NBA YouTubers trying to put up something like for their favorite finals moments in history for the NBA finals when it did come around. And yeah, mine was the 2011 NBA Finals Game 2, where they just came back out of nowhere and won that, and then ended up winning the series, which was great. That's definitely one of my favorite or favorite sports moments in history. I mean, another one was when I think it was Des Bryant's either first or second year. He like pretty much returned it all the way for a touchdown. It was pretty badass. That was one of my other favorite like moments in history. It kind of sucks that Des Bryant didn't end up panning out like I'd hoped he would, but that was one of my favorites as far as a Cowboys fan. And then another one of my favorites is when UTEP made the NCAA tournament for basketball some years back, and they had Randy Culpepper and quite a few other dudes that were really killing it.
It was 2009.
Yeah, 2009. They played against Butler, Gordon Hayward and Butler.
Sorry, 2010.
Well, either way, yeah. This one, it was Butler with Gordon Hayward, and they had Brad Stevens as the coach at the time. Now they're both on the Celtics. So yeah, that was kind of crazy. And that team ended up being the runner-up in all of that. So I mean, UTEP was actually giving them a game in the first half, but then they just crumbled after that. But still, the fact that they made it was pretty cool.
No, well, I know why they crumbled, and it really pissed me off when I found out why. So.
Yeah, Tony Barbie did kind of like give up.
You took all the. Yeah, I was like, dude, what the fuck, man? You took all the energy, the morale of the team that they were shooting for, and then you tell them that.
No, yeah, and it is a morale killer, but still, at the end of the day, you should still go out and try. So it is a little bit of both. I understand that morale, like having that kill you, sucks, but you should have still gone out and actually give it a better effort than what you did at the second half.
Well, I know, but that being said, that was a dumb, stupid thing to say.
Yeah, that was not a good moment. He should have waited until they actually lost the game to come out with that shit.
Yeah, that's why it's like, you know what? All right, Barbie, you don't want to be here? Fine, good riddance.
Yeah, dude.
When he went to Auburn, and was it I think the next year, and our team whooped their ass. I was like, yeah,
that was good. Fuck that guy. Like, yes, I get it. He got us to the NCAA tournament. But he was kind of a dick, though. Like, that was a very dick move. But that was just another one of my favorites. What are your favorite moments?
Well, yeah, for sure. Well, like the one you said with Dirk in 2011. I was gonna go mention one, the Western Conference Finals game when he when they were against Oklahoma City, and he put up 48 points. I think it was a
Yeah.
game 2 or game 3, and he was just on a fire. He was
Okay.
just throwing up some awkward shots that, like, what in the world that went down, and he put up 48 points total, and never missed a single free throw.
Yeah.
That was impressive. That was like he was focused and in the game, and that was definitely one of my favorite moments in basketball. I would say for football is back when I think when Romo was I don't know, it was 2007, 2008, one of their good seasons when T.O. was with the team, and he threw it's like they were on the other side of the field, and Tony Romo just threw a friggin' laser from
Yeah.
one side of the field to the other, and T.O. caught it. I was like, bro, that was beautiful.
Yeah. That was a really good pass. Yeah,
So
like despite the fact sometimes I shit on Romo for his overall like career, he had really good moments. I will admit that he had really good moments.
I just wish that he would finish and go all the way, not be scared at the end. It's like, bro, just get it. You're right there.
Yeah, and then
I
I
don't
mean
know.
you're gonna have a lot of Cowboys fans that disagree and say, well, what about the time he played with a broken rib? And yes, that's commendable. I get that,
Yeah, I
but
mean that's
but
dangerous too.
but there are other moments he didn't step up when he needed to, and he kind of just pouted. But that's neither here or there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to like shit on him for stepping up, especially in situations like that. Well, good, that's what you should do. But of course, be careful not to hurt yourself even further. But I criticize him when he didn't sit up when he should have. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, but no, I agree. I mean, do you have any like other ones like in other sports?
Well, I would say my freshman year in college when the men's team, I'm sorry, men's team, they went all the way to the conference tournament, and they did well, but they ended up losing the last game. I was like, dang, but they were just on fire from the year before, and it was a fun season.
Yeah, that was a
Where
very good atmosphere. Yeah.
Yeah, with it was Randy Culpepper's last year, and man, he was killing it. Was it Gabriel McCauley? Um, oh man, there was a bunch of other games that I've lost that
Was
I
John
can't remember.
Bohannon that in
Yeah,
that
that was
year?
his first. He was, yeah, he was a freshman like me. That was his first year, and yeah, he
He
was.
didn't do too bad. I mean, I think he was better his second year, but then he kind of fell off after that.
No, he was rough, but he busted his butt, and I think he's a for what he did, I think he did a wonderful time. He had a wonderful career there, and I think now he's teaching basketball at some high school somewhere in East Texas. I can't remember where, but God
Well,
bless
that's
him. I hope he's
good.
doing well. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of those guys, they're doing really well on that. They did really well. It just sucks that the very end, it was just one shot away. They were 1 point away, and they couldn't get it. It was against Memphis too. It was like, dang.
Yeah.
But the year after that, my sophomore year, when the women's team, they were kicking butt all season long. They were regular season champions, and they did it. I don't remember if they won the conference tournament. I think they did the
Yeah, they
conference
won the
tournament, and
conference
they went.
tournament,
And that's the year we went to New Orleans for the
NCAA tournament.
NCAA, and I forget who they played against, but they gave them a run for their money. And they lost by like 6 points. I was like, dang, it was so close. But that women's team that year was just on fire. So yeah, looking back in college basketball, that was fun. I'm trying to think of something else. Um, well, of course, the Rangers when they went back to back World Series, they were just on fire, but then they just could not.
Yeah, dude, they
They
just
just
kept
could not
crumbling.
deliver. They just could not cross over the finish line. And I was like, bro, I know these guys can do it, but I just don't understand why they couldn't do it. I
What
mean,
was that
because
pitcher, Lee? Oh my God, I forget his name.
yeah, Lee. I forget his first name, but he was one of their best pitchers that they acquired, and they were doing well. But I don't know what, I can't remember what happened. One of the
Cliff
games whether
Lee.
he, yes, Cliff Lee.
Cliff Lee. Yeah, dude, he was good for most of that season, and then he gets to the World Series, and then he fucks up, and that was the whole reason we got him, because we were struggling with a pitcher, and then yeah, I don't know what happened, dude. Like,
Yeah, I mean, for the longest time, I mean, Rangers didn't seem to have a bullpen, and it's like, bro, come on, you guys got
yeah,
some throwers that will be able to just knock it out. And I think I don't know who they acquired recently, but it'd be nice to see once the season continues or starts up again how they do. Yeah, and that's another thing, man, about baseball. This whole thing started. I mean, they were about to get started with was it spring training,
yeah, spring
and
training.
the regular season hadn't even started yet. So it's like, what's this going to do? As far as
Well, it is like if they do come back, it's going to be a extremely reduced season.
yeah, I mean, because usually the World Series the playoffs take place October and November,
Yeah, and
and
usually around June, like late June, that's usually when, like late June, early July, that's usually when the All-Star game is.
yeah, that's pretty.
So,
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, man. Like until we hear from all the leagues, what's gonna
well, I know
be
that the
eventually.
NFL is going to be back in time from what I've heard,
Oh well, yeah,
because they've
because
already
it's
posted the schedules and shit, so they're going to be
well,
fine.
well, yeah, the season starts in September, so I mean, they're gonna be ready to go by then. I mean, this thing would, I'm sure, like I said, I have faith this thing will die down, and we'll be moving on from this very soon. So yeah, as far as any other moments,
Oh, dude, okay,
off the top of my,
I got to tell you one of mine, dude. And it happened this season. It was when UTEP played UTSA. I got to see that game, like, because I think I had ESPN Plus at the time, and there are some games you could actually watch, like, because I guess they were recorded. And dude, that was a fucking epic game. Like UTEP versus UTSA. Like UTEP was like struggling, and then they came back, and like they were just really holding their own. Like Williams, that guy Williams, that I think the power forward from
mm,
UTEP, dude, he was just hitting like jump shot after jump shot from mid range, like faders and freaking crazy layups, dude. That guy was killing it. I mean, granted, they had a guard on UTSA that was just shooting lights out, but God, man, that was probably one of my favorite UTEP games I'd seen in a long time.
oh well, now that you mention it, there was another game when I was I don't know if I just graduated or just before when when the men's team played against Arizona
Hmm.
U of A. That was a awesome game. I forget what rank Arizona was at the time, but they started off slow, and then all of a sudden, the men's the guys come back, and it's like they tied it up, and the crowd's just going wild. I mean, they were right there, man. They lost by 5 points. I was like, dang, they were just right there. But it was a great game, and even the coach was like, he was like, man, I give them a lot of credit. That was an amazing game, because he was kind of he was kind of sweating a little bit. Like, man, these guys are gonna beat us and knock us down a little bit, and they would have. They would have, man. It's like people don't give the men's team a lot of credit, especially with the history. This team can beat some great teams, like when back in 2010 when
Well,
they
it's
were on
just
the
actually doing it, though. That's really all
yeah.
it is. I mean, they
I was
have
like,
the potential. It's just actually getting it done.
well, yeah. I mean, they gave a lot of teams back in 09, 010, and 2010 on that run. A lot of them they kicked the hell out of
Yeah,
Oklahoma
that
that
was
year.
definitely their best season in a long time.
Yeah.
Definitely
So I
was.
mean, it will happen again. Mark my words. It will happen again, man. They
Yeah,
will.
mark my
They,
words. Yeah, I haven't done one of those in a while,
they
but
will. Well, not to steal your thing. I just
yeah,
saying
no, it's fine.
they will I know they will get back to the NCAA tournament, and I know that they will win it again. They won it once, they'll win it again.
Well, to get back to piggyback off of that point, I think the next couple of years is going to be UTEP's biggest challenge, because if they do at least play well and make the NCAA tournament, that's going to be a good sign for this program, especially if that guy Williams still ends up like continuing to play. But if he ends up leaving for the draft, that might put a damper on things. But I think there's going to be. I mean, there's a few players that are opting to go to the draft, even though they didn't play their seasons at their respective colleges. But there are some that are. There are some that are, which would be really good. And now that the NCAA is actually going to start paying their players, for their likeness and other things, I think that's going to really boost up, the NCAA.
Oh, so that's actually going to happen. They're going.
Yeah, they've already instated that.
So instead of giving players athletic scholarships, they're going to actually pay them what a salary or pay them per game or what?
I think they're still gonna get scholarship, but I think what it is it's not necessarily the that they're able to make money off of endorsements and other shit.
Oh, so they're going to pay them. They're going to pay them royalties in addition to their scholarship. As far as using their name and their image.
I presume that's what it would be. But yeah.
See. Yeah, Bryson Williams, man.
Yeah, Bryson Williams. I know his name began with a B, and I don't know why I forgot. But dude, yeah, that guy is freaking badass. And I hope to God he stays on for at least one more year, just to give UTEP a good run, because he is phenomenal. I haven't seen a power forward like that in a while.
Yeah, they got some good people. Based on they did acquire a few other pieces from other places, but I have a good feeling that this is going to be a good year for them. It's a new decade. It's a new, kind of like a clean slate for this run. So I feel it's going to be good. I'll always, like I said, no matter what, I'll always support my alma mater.
Yeah, dude. I miss going to UTEP games because people really, really loved, the fans really loved watching the games, and they were really ecstatic. It was a great atmosphere. If you guys ever are in El Paso during the basketball season, please go to a UTEP game. They are a lot of fun, whether it be the men's or the women's team. They are a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, it gets down. Like I said, with any team, it has ups and downs, but man, it gets loud in there, man. You can to where the point where you can feel the grounds of the bleachers shake. Mm-hmm. That's why I hope, man, with for football with Coach Demo, dude, bro, get on it. Come on.
Yeah,
when Price came into town, was his first few years, the Sun Bowl sold out countless times. And you can actually feel, it was told that you can actually feel the actual stadium shake because it got that crazy. So like I said, I have faith that both basketball and football will rise up. It can happen. And I don't give a shit what other people say. Talk shit all you want, man, but it got to be about the process.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, in a few years, we'll see what happens. I hope they do, but I don't know, man. Sometimes it just sucks. But Jesus, sorry, I'm kind of a little distracted because God bless, it is really raining here badly in College Station. It's looking like a tempest, dude. It's crazy.
Well, we just had rain. It was raining earlier. It's still kind of cloudy, but we had a couple of storm systems pass by. So
yeah, my guy, it is pouring here, dude. There's freaking water flooding off of the roof here, man.
I'll enjoy that because it was kind of dry the last week and a half.
I like it, but sometimes I don't because it makes the grass grow even quicker. The grass here grows really fast, so I'm already having to freaking mow or edge within 4 days.
Well, I mean, we hadn't had rain, like I said, in almost 2 weeks, so the ground, the actual soil was literally cracking because it was so dry.
Yeah, that's not good.
So yeah, that's why I was grass, front is is coming along. It's the back that still needs some work.
Yeah, but yeah, in the future, guys, we might talk about other things besides sports for this sportscast. I know it is a sportscast, but I've kind of looked at other podcasts from other channels and other YouTubers, and they do talk about other things. Like recently, I was watching a podcast on Rusty Buckets, his Hoopscast, and I'll forward you a link to his recent episode. And yeah, they were. I mean, not to. I mean, they were talking about who's your favorite porn star. It was really ridiculous, but.
What the
Nah, I
porn
know, dude.
star?
It was really funny. Well, no, dude.
That's out of nowhere.
No, some people really like are into that shit. I mean, some
I know.
people
Well, I
know them
just
by name.
right. Well, well. Hey, dude, that's a very big industry.
Mhm.
Not that I agree with it, but hey, it's just that's just not what I would have expected from Rusty. That's all.
Yeah, dude. It's well. I mean, those are his fans. He just answers questions. He actually answered
Oh,
one of my questions. I
oh
mean,
yeah.
they didn't say it by name, but
Oh yeah.
it was one of their first questions. I think that was me because I asked like, how do you get people to notice your videos, and they kind of gave some pointers. So that's good. I'm glad that
Yeah.
he at least responded to that.
That's cool.
So
That's cool.
so I mean, yeah, go give his channel a watch, and yeah, in the future maybe we'll talk about stuff because I know Dom 2K for his Domcast, he sometimes talks about like animes and like what he's on. So I mean,
Nice.
we might do like a small segment
Sure.
talking about stuff like that even.
I'm
Because I
down.
mean that I think that would be something fun. I mean, look, I love to talk about sports, but sometimes like especially with in a situation like this, you don't have a lot to talk about. So it would be fun to like I mean, and look, I want to make this more serious, but at the same time, I can't take myself too seriously when creating these because it's supposed to be fun and entertaining for everybody else. So hopefully in the future we'll think about some topics outside of sports to discuss as well.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's all good.
Yeah, but anyhow, that's really all we had for this video. As far as my projects, I know I keep mentioning my playoff predictions videos. They will come out. I'm still working on the Eastern Conference, and it will come out soon, I promise. And then I'll work on the Western Conference video. And I've been like kind of jumping between each project, the Eastern Conference video, Western Conference video, and the Steve Nash video. And that one I'm a little stuck on because I'm still trying to figure out whether the Mavericks would have even traded for Kidd. A huge part of me wishes they would, but I highly doubt that's realistic because if they would have kept Nash, then I don't think there would have been a need for Jason Kidd. Maybe they run a two guard lineup, but at that point the Warriors weren't that prevalent yet, and neither was well, I mean, I guess no, Lillard and McCollum were there, but I don't think they were in full force, at least at that point yet. So I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But even then, I think they would have gone for some like because Rusty even like suggested maybe they would have gone for some defensive player or another shooter to kind of give them more shooting.
Oh,
Maybe like
well, I
I don't know.
mean, I felt that I would have felt it would have worked if you acquired both if you had acquired Kidd and kept Nash. I mean, I
Well,
feel
but
you would have been
see,
able to
The
do
only
the road.
reason the only reason I don't think so is because they were too similar of players. And actually if you look it up, they did play in Phoenix together. But because this
Did
is
they?
yeah, because
Oh,
Jason Kidd was traded to Phoenix for Michael Finley. Um, and then he played a few seasons, and then Nash was drafted to Phoenix. Like, Phoenix drafted him, and he played behind Jason Kidd.
hmm.
But of course, like Steve Nash struggled a little bit in his first seasons, so he was then traded to Dallas. I mean, like I guess they did see potential in him, but he kind of struggled a little bit at first.
Well,
So
I mean,
I can see why they probably wouldn't have acquired Kidd if they had
well,
Nash.
well, I mean, if you had two similar guards, I mean, then the rotation should have been affected. I mean, it's like, oh, nothing has changed. It's like, oh, okay.
But see,
Unless you wanted to have that surprise factor with with a different style of guard, then I would understand that.
I think at that point they needed better defense and better shooting. Um, and also like and again, I'm trying not to divulge too much information of what I'm trying to do, but the only thing I'm going to divulge is that I'm just stuck at that moment because also Well, no, because I don't want to give away too much because there's a few things I think should be saved for the actual video.
It's a
But
surprise, folks. It's a
yeah,
surprise.
yeah, exactly, dude. Sorpresa. But yeah, I just I don't know. I'm just stuck at that moment, and hopefully I can get some input. But like, there's two trades in mind that I think could work realistically. But I don't know. Hopefully, I can get some more insight on the ones I have in mind. Like, I don't know, because maybe for one, it gives the ability to still like get in a couple of trades that would have been pertinent to the 2011 uh, finals run. But yeah, again, I don't want to give away too much, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. But yeah, that's all I had for today. Did you have anything else you wanted to add, Mario, before we close this
No,
podcast?
no, I don't think so. I think so far we're good. Yeah, it was nice to come back after spending a week trying to finish finals. So yeah, it's good. I'm looking forward to divulging into more of this now that I have a little bit more free time. And then yeah, we should be moving forward with this. And then I'm trying to get trying to move forward. I'm trying to get my channel going and just pumping out videos, some good videos. I've just been doing some practice ones for school, but I'll do some ones for me and then get them out there as soon as possible. So yeah.
Yeah, and definitely, guys, when he starts posting them up, please give him a look. His channel is called Mario AX Tenorio. Those are his initial, like his name, his middle initials, and his last name. And yeah, he's a good jazz saxophonist. So please give him a watch. I'll be sure to post a link to his channel in the description. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm also maybe considering doing a gaming channel. Trying to, but I didn't. First, I need either a gaming system or a new computer that can have enough RAM and speed to do that. So that may be a while, but at least for music, I can just put that out. But yeah, that's something I'm considering for the
Yeah,
future.
definitely, man. Baby steps. I mean, I'm still working on my stuff for this channel and my music channel, so it takes time. But you know who you should watch? My buddy Oscar,
Yeah,
OGsensei, Oscar Gomez.
Gee, sensei.
Yeah, that's his channel. You should
Yeah, I
do.
know.
It's really
Yeah,
badass.
I
He
checked
like
out. Yeah, I checked out his a couple of his videos, and I reached out to him on what I could do and what to use, and I'm still gonna mess with QuickTime Player to see how it comes out, but I am gonna look into maybe getting OBS, which is they say it's free, but they say it's really good to use. So
yeah.
I'll see. That's what he uses. That's what I'm maybe considering using. But as I said, I'm still messing with what I have right now with QuickTime Player. It could maybe it'll suffice, but if it's too limited, then I'll go with the other ones. They may have, of course, the other programs may have more to mess with. But anyway, like I said, all work in progress.
Alrighty, well, ándale pues. That's all we have for today, guys. Suscríbete a mi canal y hasta el próximo, mi gente. Adiós, paz.
Yes, nos vemos.